American rapper, songwriter, dancer, and record producer Stanley Kirk Burrell, better known by his stage name, MC Hammer, grew up in a poor, depressed neighborhood with his many siblings in East Oakland, California. As an adult, he would reminisce about how difficult life was in a drug and crime-infested environment. He was raised by a single mother after his parents split up when he was just 5 years old. When asked how he managed to avoid getting caught up in all the illegal activity everyone around him was doing, he chalked it up to the love he had for his mother and not wanting to disappoint her. As a young child, to make some extra money, Hammer would hustle tickets from the Oakland A's baseball players and resell them. He was already familiar with the environment since his older brothers already had jobs working for the team. In addition to his ticket sales, he would also put on a dance show in the parking lot accompanied by his radio. One day, the team's owner, Charlie Finley, happened to be walking by and took notice of his talent. He decided to hire Hammer as a clubhouse assistant at the tender age of 9. His work was so impressive, it secured him a vice president position in his early teens. Baseball also played an integral role in giving Hammer his name. A's outfielder Reggie Jackson noticed how much Hammer favored fellow outfielder Hank Aaron, whose nickname was the Hammer. After high school, Hammer began undergraduate classes at a local college, but quickly became discouraged with the experience, so he decided to join the military. He served in the Navy for a few years until his honorable discharge. While there, though, he teamed up with a roommate to create a bunch of demos right in their barracks. After his military days were over, Hammer spent some time as a member of a gospel hip-hop group known as the Holy Ghost Boys. He then borrowed a substantial amount of money from a couple of former Oakland A's players to start his own record label called Busted Productions. That company spawned Bustin' Records, the independent label of which Hammer was CEO. Now billing himself as MC Hammer for Master of Ceremonies, he recorded his debut album, Feel My Power, and released it independently in 1987 on his own label. Purely by the sweat of his brow, he accomplished an incredible feat, selling over 60,000 copies. Hammer's big break would come in 1988 while performing in an Oakland nightclub. He impressed a record executive who offered him a multi-album contract with Capitol Records. Once signed, Hammer reissued his first record. This time he titled it Let's Get It Started, with additional tracks added. It included the popular singles Pump It Up, Turn This Mother Out, They Put Me in the Mix, and the title track. Hammer's third album, titled Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, was released in February 1990. It included the top 10 hit, You Can't Touch This, which sampled Rick James' Super Freak.
Can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know, can't touch this.
Unfortunately, Rick would sue Hammer for copyright infringement. The suit was settled out of court when Hammer agreed to credit Rick as co-composer, effectively cutting him in on the millions of dollars the record was earning. This wouldn't be the only time Hammer would make an appearance in court over the same issue. Follow-up successes included a cover of the Shy-Lites' Have You Seen Her? And Pray. The project went on to become the first hip-hop album to earn diamond status. A movie also accompanied the album and was produced in 1990 of the same name. In an interview with Maria Shriver in the early 90s, Hammer revealed that he took the ultimate precaution to protect the asset that started it all by insuring his legs for $10 million. It may have seemed like it, but not everything was coming up roses in Hammer's career. A critical backlash began over the repetitive nature of his lyrics, his clean-cut image, and his perceived over-reliance on sampling. Hammer was also frequently mocked in songs and music videos by numerous artists. It shouldn't go unsaid that for some individuals, their disses were in response to one apparently levied by Hammer first. One artist in particular, New York-based hip-hop group Third Base, made things very personal when they called out Hammer and his mother on their debut album, The Cactus Album. Later, they claimed that Hammer put out a $50,000 hit on them. He denied doing any such thing. Despite the criticisms, Hammer's career continued on an upward trajectory, and he took full advantage of other business opportunities to market, like Mattel dolls, lunchboxes, and other merchandise. He was also given his own Saturday morning cartoon, called Hammerman, which he hosted and voiced. After publicly dropping the MC from his stage name, Hammer released Too Legit to Quit in 1991. The title track would end up being the biggest hit from the record, landing in the top 5. Music videos were produced for all 4 singles released from the album, but the Too Legit to Quit video in particular featured many celebrity appearances. It's been ranked as one of the most expensive videos ever made. The hand motions used within the video also became very popular. At the end of the Too Legit to Quit video, after James Brown enlists Hammer to obtain the famous glove of Michael Jackson, a silver-white sequins glove is shown on the hand of a Michael Jackson lookalike doing the Too Legit to Quit hand gesture. In 2009, Hammer appeared on The Wendy Williams Show and told the story about a phone call he received from Michael regarding that portion of the video, giving his approval and inclusion of it. He explained how Michael had seen the video and liked it, and both expressed they were fans of one another. Despite the album's multi-platinum certification, the sales were still only 1/3 of Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em. In 1992, the past came back to haunt Hammer when a recording artist named Kevin Christian filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against him for copyright infringement of his song, Oh Oh You Got the Shing. Hammer would admit in depositions and court documents to getting the idea for his song, Here Comes the Hammer, from Kevin's song. A settlement with the record label as well as Hammer was eventually reached. 2 years later, Hammer released his 5th album, titled The Funky Headhunter, with his new label, Giant Records. To adapt to the changing landscape of hip-hop, this album was a much more aggressive-sounding project. He even changed his appearance to fit in with the more popular gangsta rap audience. The glittery parachute pants were gone and replaced by saggy jeans and knit caps. The content remained somewhat the same, but the sound was very different, resulting in Hammer losing favor with fans. He also experienced some drama with MTV. Censors claim that the music video for the album's first single, Pumps and a Bump, depicting Hammer in Speedos and with what appeared to be physical confirmation that he was really enjoying himself, was too graphic. This led to an alternative video being filmed with Hammer fully clothed. It's All Good was the second single released and was the most successful. Hammer took the opportunity on this album to diss a bunch of rappers such as Q-Tip, Redman, and Run DMC for previous attacks they made against him. The following year, Hammer, using the MC in his name once again, released the album Inside Out. The album sold poorly compared to previous records, and as a result, Giant dropped him from their roster. Enter Suge Knight. Suge and Hammer had already established a relationship dating back to the late 80s, so it was a no-brainer for him to offer Hammer a deal. Hammer signed with Death Row Records, then home to his close friend, Tupac Shakur. After Tupac's death in 1996, Hammer left the label. Before his departure, though, he did complete an album titled Too Tight that was never released. Hammer decided it was time to turn back to his gospel roots. Raised Pentecostal, he strayed from his Christian faith during his success. He began a television ministry called MC Hammer and Friends on the Trinity Broadcasting Network, as well as appearing on Praise the Lord programs, where he went public about his devotion to ministry as an ordained minister. Then, just as Hammer was getting comfortable in his new lane, he would file for bankruptcy in 1996, originally having an estimated net worth of over $30 million. According to Forbes magazine, speculations about his status first emerged during delays between the Too Legit to Quit and the Funky Headhunter albums, with Hammer having spent much of his money on staff and personal luxuries, such as over a dozen cars and thoroughbred racehorses. Hammer was one of the producers for the VH1 biopic, Too Legit, The MC Hammer Story, which aired in December 2001. It became the second highest rated original movie in the history of VH1 and broadcast simultaneously on BET. Over the years, Hammer would find himself achieving only moderate sales with his next several albums, including 1998's Family Affair, 2001's Active Duty, 2004's Full Blast, 2006's Look Look Look, and 2009's Dance Jam the Music. He became the executive producer of his own reality show called Hammer Time, which aired on the A&E network during the summer of 2009. Hammer continued to occasionally release singles over the past few years. The one that gained the most attention was Better Run Run. The song served as a response to another song called So Appalled by Kanye West. It also features Jay-Z rapping a verse referring to Hammer's financial woes. In addition to music, Hammer also continued to tap into a variety of other avenues, such as fashion, martial arts, and tech. In November 2011, Hammer was chased back to court, this time by Uncle Sam. The U.S. government filed a lawsuit against him for unpaid taxes that totaled just under $800,000 for the years 1996 and 1997. This was also the time when it was reported that Hammer was going through his most difficult financial issues. He tried to assure fans and naysayers, showing off proof that the payments had already been made on social media. However, the district court ruled against him. An interesting tidbit reported in 2012 was that Hammer was allegedly encouraged to marry Whitney Houston by her father at the Super Bowl in 1991. He, as well as the entire stadium, no doubt, had his eyes glued to witness her beauty and talent on full display as she belted out arguably the best rendition ever of the Star-Spangled Banner. In January 2020, Hammer teamed up with Cheetos to produce a Super Bowl commercial celebrating the 30th anniversary of You Can't Touch This. Even though Hammer hasn't released a new album in over a decade, he continues to tour regularly. Even more than music, he enjoys investing time in his family, which includes his wife of 36 years, Stephanie, and their children, as well as maintaining a very close connection to God. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time!